This tutorial is for educational use only. It is not authorized nor approved for any other use.
Part 5 of the Algorithmic Stablecoin tutorial. In this video, what we are doing is we are modifying the governance smart contract to use our own ERC-20 token as the unstable collateral. On the last video, we used the governance smart contract to maintain the peg status, or in this case, guaranteed that the price of the stablecoin is 1-to-1 to the US dollar by minting and burning the stablecoin itself, the N2USD stablecoin. And we mentioned on video number 1 that while it's a valid approach, we could be burning supply of the stablecoin to maintain the peg if we don't want to add more collateral onto the reserve. That is one way to make it happen. Here's the problem with that. If you have the tokens in circulation, meaning that that stablecoin is in circulation, how are you going to be able to burn those tokens if you are not in full control of that token? So here's the thing. When we started working with our own ERC-20 token, that is different. When we're starting to use our own custom ERC-20 token, we are in control of that token, which means that I can start burning the token in case my market cap, listen carefully, the token market cap is below what the token value is that will be providing the collateral to back the stablecoin. Okay, let's take a step back. We know on any asset we have a market cap dictated by the amount of investment, the amount of liquidity that is injected onto a particular token or asset, right? So if we have a market cap of $80 million and we have 1 billion tokens, that means that by dividing the market cap against the total supply, we will get the token price, which in this case is going to be 0.08 or 8 cents. Okay, so we will be using our own custom ERC-20 token to back the value of the stablecoin as one of our collateral. If, for example, we're going to do this scenario, 10 million of our own N2USD tokens, this is our own utility token on the reserve smart contract as the unstable collateral. And we're going to be dropping 10 million of those tokens priced at 8 cents per token. That gives us $800,000 in collateral, which is what we need to add to the collateral that we already have stored. That will give us the $1 million that will peg to the N2USD, which means that we will have 1 million token supply, $1 million. We're going to have $1 per token as the price of the stable coin. And that's great. That's what we need to have. The big advantage in this scenario is that the N2USD stablecoin supply, it's not going to change. It's going to stay at 1 million always, which means that we can safely move those tokens and start selling the tokens, start trading the tokens, start using the token for the utility that was made of. We can guarantee ourselves that the token will have the stable aspect of $1 USD. Now we have to work with the N2DR token. This is the utility token that is backing the algorithmic stablecoin that we're building, which means that I have to make sure that price or the supply allows the collateral that is stored on the vault to maintain the $800,000 requirement. How do we do that? If for some reason we drop the value of the N2DR, either we have one or two choices. We can drop additional N2DR tokens as collateral to replenish what we lost in collateral value due to the price drop, or we could burn N2DR tokens. And you might ask, well, what's the difference if we have to burn N2DR versus burning the N2USD? Well, the N2DR is 1 billion token total supply versus the N2USD is 1 million. Which one do we have more flexibility to burn? Obviously, it's going to be the N2DR because we have more supply. We have a lot of that supply already in circulation, and we're probably going to have enough supply held in the governance smart contract that we can burn and bring back the peg. Okay? I am speaking in the terms of the algorithmic stablecoin. I am speaking in the fact that we just want to make sure that the algorithmic stablecoin stays at 1 USD. There's other implications of doing that. Remember, if we're burning the supply in our utility token, that means that the price is going to go up. Remember, we have people trading the token. We have people selling those tokens. We have a lot of utility already being done with that token, which means that the moment we start doing those price fluctuations, investors are going to take advantage. They're going to sell, they're going to trade the token, which means that it's going to start making that price swing more complex. I am giving you the use case in the algorithmic stablecoin to make sure that our algorithmic stablecoin maintains the $1 price peg. There's implications of doing that, right? We have to make sure that the N2USD also has some sort of stability, because if we don't have stability in the N2USD, let's say for example, I'm holding 1 million N2USD tokens, right? If I burn the supply, my million N2USD tokens are going to go up in value. What would I do in that case? I could sell those tokens and make profit. So it's a very complex scenario. It's not just burning tokens so then the N2USD maintains its peg. You have another consequence, and I would say another spillover of an issue. If you start doing that, you're going to have other issues to be concerned with, right? And this tutorial is to work on the algorithmic stablecoin. I just want to make that clear, okay? So with that said, what we're going to do, we have to do the following. We have to be very creative on this video. Why? Because I need to fake the price of the token. In the governance smart contract, what we're going to do, we're going to be building a function that is going to replace the price feed, okay? The price feed function that we were using to grab the price of Ethereum using the Chainlink aggregator interface. We are going to be removing that, and instead I am going to make a function. What's going to do, we're going to be providing the market cap value of the N2USD, and we should have the smart contract calculate the price per token. We will feed that value onto the validate peg, and it will do exactly the same thing as we were doing on the last video, okay? Here's the thing. Now that we have that mechanism and we can fake the price of the N2USD token on the smart contract, the moment we validate the peg or we try to balance the peg, if the price of my collateral is lower than the supply, that means that I have to rebalance the peg. What we need to do, we cannot touch the N2USD because that's the whole purpose, to not touch the N2USD supply. What we need to do, we have to burn the N2USD supply, so then we can bring back the price value of 0.08, okay? We are going to be integrating our own custom ERC-20 token on the governance smart contract. We are going to be associating that to our custom N2USD token, and we will add the functionality to do the algorithmic rebalancing in case the price of the token goes down. The governance smart contract is going to burn not the N2USD, it's going to burn the N2USD token. Enough with the talking, let me jump right in. We are going to be configuring that, and we will test, and we will go from there. It's going to be way shorter than the last video, which we built absolutely everything. Let's go ahead. Let's make this happen. Remember the last video, what I ended up doing? I wrote the N2USD token smart contract, and that is the stablecoin smart contract. We can use the same smart contract to build the N2USD token. Okay, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the N2USD smart contract, right? And we are just going to copy it and modify some values. Okay, so I'm going to select all, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. This new file is going to be called N2USD Sol, right? And let's build that, the custom ERC-20 token, the N2USD token, right? I'm going to go ahead and paste. And the only thing that we have to modify here is going to be obviously the contract name. Let's go ahead and N2USD, that's the name. Let's modify it here as well. And this will be the N2USD rewards and N2USD. Okay, so that's the name of the token. Everything else is pretty much the same. It's just a normal ERC-20 token, okay? So now that I've done this, I am going to Control S and see if everything compiles successfully, and it did. Awesome. So now what I'm going to do, now that I have this built, I am going to build the governance smart contract by copying the previous governance smart contract that we did on video number 4, and we are going to modify it to use the N2USD token instead of us burning the stable coin. We are going to be dealing with the N2USD token, okay? I already have the option 1 smart contract here. That's the last video. What I'm going to do, I'm going to select all, I'm going to copy it, and then let me create a new contract, okay? N2USD governance, and let's call this option 2, or let's call this N2DR option 2, okay? Just to know that this is the governance smart contract that is going to be dictated using the N2DR token, okay? It's going to be balanced on the utility token, not the stable coin, okay? Okay, so let's start building this. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing, or I'm going to be modifying, okay, on the smart contract, let me go ahead and remove this, is going to be, we have to also work with the N2DR. Remember, this smart contract, it's going to control the N2DR token smart contract. Remember the last video, it was controlling the N2USD token by burning the supply if the peg dropped, or if we lost a peg due to a collateral value drop, we are going to be burning that supply. In this case, now we are going to be interacting with the N2DR token instead, which means that I also have to import that contract that we just did, okay? This one right here, okay? I am going to remove, we are no longer using the aggregator v3 interface, which means that I can effectively remove this. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, let me go down here. What I have to do is I am going to remove this, which is part of the fetch collateral price. We have to remove all dependencies for the aggregator v3 interface because we're not going to be using that anymore. So with that said, data feed address, this has to go. This entire thing has to go. And this one as well, the fetch collateral price is going to go because we're no longer using Chainlink on this one, okay? The next thing that I am going to do now is I am going to also declare in the constructor my N2DR token, okay? Which means that I have to, by the way, I have to add this declaration here. I have to create this private variable because we're going to be working with a token smart contract as well. Okay, so in this case, what I'm going to do, I am going to type into the R, and we're just going to say into the R as well, lowercase. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and enable that on the constructor. Let's add this smart contract. So the moment we deploy this smart contract, it's going to ask for the N2DR token smart contract address as well. And we can use this particular variable to call the token smart contract. Okay, cool. And now let's go ahead and add this right here and copy. And you can see that I love copy and pasting. And this will be N2DR, and let's N2DR. Beautiful. So far, so good. Okay. The collateral token is nothing is going to change here. It's going to be the same. Okay, so now let's build that function that what I'm going to be providing, it's going to be the market cap. And we mentioned at the beginning of the video, the market cap divided by the token supply would give us the token price, the price of each token, okay? By doing a function that is going to grab the value of the market cap, we can effectively get the price of the token. So what I'm going to be passing as a user or as the administrator of the smart contract, it's going to be the market cap value, okay? And that is literally a fake way of telling the smart contract, hey, this is the price of the token. This is for this demonstration. Obviously, in production, that's not going to be the case. You need to have a proper oracle that is going to provide that price action to the smart contract. So then the governance can properly calculate if it needs to burn, if it needs to mint, if it needs to balance the peg. Okay, beautiful. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare this function right here. And this function, let me go ahead and zoom in so you can all see it. This function right here, and it's going to be called set N2, let's do this camel case right here, N2DR token price. Beautiful. Okay. And the token price, what I'm going to be passing, it's going to be an integer market cap. Okay. Beautiful. And we're going to be declaring this external and non-reentrant. Awesome. What I have to do, obviously, I have to declare this. I have to make sure that only whoever's calling this function, it has the rights to do. It's part of the access control role, okay? The first thing that I need to determine is the amount of tokens in the N2USD smart contract, which means that I have to declare another variable, and let's do this publicly so that we can see what the current token supply in the N2USD smart contract is. And we already did this for the N2USD, the stablecoin, but now I'm going to do the same thing for the N2USD. So I'm just going to type here N2USD supply. Beautiful. Now I'm going to use this to pass the value, the total supply, by reading the token smart contract. Remember, we have added the token smart contract as part of the governance smart contract, and I can call this directly, and it will call the token smart contract itself and get values from the token smart contract. Okay, cool. So now what I got to do, I'm going to say here, let's call that variable that we just created, N2USD supply, right? And we are going to say equals N2USD, that is the token smart contract. And you can already see that is calling those functions that we have available in the token smart contract. Now what I want to say is total supply. There we go. Awesome. With that, I am effectively storing the total supply of the N2USD token smart contract here. And now I can grab this value divided by this value, and that will give us the price per token. There you go. Awesome. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, remember we have the unstable collateral price, which is the variable that is going to be storing the value of collateral B. Okay. Before it was storing the value of Ethereum, now we are going to be storing the N2USD value. Beautiful. So let me go ahead and copy that, right? And what am I going to do? I am going to do the math that does all the magic. First of all, I'm going to be passing market cap. And you might be asking, okay, why are you going to multiply? You're going to see in a second. You're going to see in a second. Don't worry. I am going to be multiplying the market cap against the N2USD supply because I need to convert this value onto Way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to divide this by Way, and that will give me the right value for the unstable collateral price, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. I'm going to multiply market cap times N2USD supply, but then I'm going to divide this by what? The Way value. And if we remember the last video, Way value is 1E18. So by effectively doing this, I am going to obtain the unstable collateral price, okay? That will be the price per token. Beautiful. So I'm going to be passing the market cap, which we mentioned at the beginning of the video is like $80 million. So I'm going to be passing 80 million right here. Now I'm going to grab this value against the N2USD supply, and then I'm going to divide that by the Way value, and that will give me the price per token. You're going to see this. You're definitely going to see this, okay? Now that we have this, we not necessarily have to do any changes or modifications in the collateral rebalancing. We definitely have to work with validate peg. And this is where all this magic is going to happen. This is going to happen, okay? So check this out. I am going to be changing a little bit here. This calculation is going to stay the same. Remember, we have the unstable collateral price formatted the same way as we had before with Ethereum. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be the N2USD token price, but now I have to do something. Instead of me burning the N2USD, I am going to be burning the N2USD. But before that, I got to make sure that I do something. I am going to be obtaining the amount that it's missing from the reserve as far as the value. So let's say the price of the token went down from 0.08 to 0.06. I need to determine how much I lost in reserves. So then I can burn that excess amount and then bring back the peg, okay? I am going to grab now this value, and I'm going to be determining how much. Remember, this is supply change when I was burning the N2USD, which is $1 value, okay? Now it's different. Now we are burning a token that it's a different value. It's not going to be the same value as the stablecoin, which means that I have to determine how much is that worth in that token so I can burn it, okay? So I'm going to say burn amount, right?
And that burn amount, basically grabbing supply chain, that is supply chain right here. This is the collateral that we lost. In the case if the collateral value obviously is less than my stablecoin supply, okay? And what I'm going to do, I am going to say supply change, and we're going to be dividing this by what? By the unstable collateral price, okay? That is the price per token. And this is the N2USD token. And then obviously we gotta make sure that we convert this onto A. Okay, and this will give me the burn amount. Let's do a quick math so you can see this, how it will look like if we do this calculation ourselves, okay? And let's grab the formula that we just created here, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and break it down for you, okay? So I'm gonna paste this here. So we set supply chain. So let's put this scenario. We have a market cap of 80 million, right? And we have a total supply of 1 billion tokens. How much is going to be per token? Okay, how much is each token priced? Okay, so let's go at it real quick. Okay, so we're going to be dividing $80 million, okay, divided by 1 billion tokens. That gives us 0.08. Okay, so we know that price per token for 8 billion total supply, it's going to be 0.08 cents. Okay, now let's imagine the following. Let's imagine that the price of the token went down to 0.06. Now I have to grab the new token price, right? And I have to multiply that by my supply. Okay, now by doing this, we should obtain the new market cap. Remember, this is the previous market cap and my token supply. Now that the price went down to 0.06, multiply that by the token supply, we should get the new market cap. Okay, so let's do that. So now I'm going to say 1 billion tokens multiplied by 0.06, $60 million. So now my new market cap is going to be 60 million. Okay. With that said, let's say I had in this scenario, in the first scenario, right, when we first deployed the smart contract and we did the algorithmic stablecoin, that my collateral in the vault was 10 million N2USD tokens. Okay. At 8 cents, okay, at 8 cents, we know that we had $800,000, okay? And I can do a quick math so I can show you, right? So if we have 10 million N2USD tokens, right? Multiply that per 0.08 cents, that's $800,000 in the unstable collateral. This is collateral B. And then we have the USDT, which is 200,000, okay? Beautiful. So now the price of the token went down to 0.06, which means now that the market cap is 60,000, my collateral B, guess what? It dropped. Now my collateral B, it's worth $600,000, which means that I lost 200,000. So 800,000 minus 600,000, that gives us a 200,000 loss of collateral. Okay. Now I have to do whatever it takes to either replenish this or burn the supply so then I can bring back the price to 0.08. Okay, so let's do that. We know that the supply change, it's how much? It's going to be 200,000, right? Because that's what we lost. That will be my loss of collateral. So in this case will be 200. And now we said in the formula that we're going to be dividing this by the unstable collateral price. Okay, by dividing this by 0.06, okay, we should be getting the amount of tokens that we need to burn. 200,000, right, divided by the price per token, 3,333,333, okay? So I'm gonna grab this value, and that is my loss of tokens, or at least this is what I need to burn. So what I'm gonna do now, obviously this is the formula that we just did right here. We have to multiply this by way. So basically what's going to happen is this value right here, we are just going to add 18 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know the drill. It's going to go all the way to 18. So then we converted this value onto way. Okay. So let me go back on my browser. Beautiful. And now this is how you know it. This should be 200,000. And then we're going to be dividing this by the price of the unstable token. That gives us the burn amount. Now we have to burn that amount. What I'm going to do, I am going to be changing this to N2DR burn. And we are just passing burn amount instead. There you go. So what happened was we effectively burned the supply by calling the smart contract, the N2DR token smart contract, and the burn function, and we passed this amount. Very important. This amount right here, this value, that means that we need to hold that value in this governance smart contract, right? Because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to send that to the N2DR token smart contract to burn it, okay? Which means that when we deploy this, we have to deposit some of the supply so then the governance can work with that supply, okay? Cool. And in the case of if the price of the N2DR went up in value, then what's going to happen? The governance smart contract is just going to mint more tokens for the stablecoin, right? But the main focus is to make sure that if the price of the utility token, in this case the N2DR, went down, then I am going to burn to bring back the peg, okay? What else? And I think that's it. That's it. Now, very important, because we are going to be dropping N2DR tokens here in the governance smart contract. I need to have a function that will allow me to withdraw that amount, you know, in case I need to withdraw, else I'm not going to be able to withdraw, okay? So I'm going to call this N2DR, right? And the only difference that I have to do here, I'm going to say N2DR, I'm going to transfer and done. That's it. That's literally the N2DR token as collateral. So let me go ahead and the final step, I'm going to see if everything goes well. Beautiful. Now, final step, let's test it out, okay? I have to do the whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and Control S. I'm going to the USDT, the fake USDT token. Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and deploy. Okay, so let's go ahead and deploy. There you go. I got the notification. I'm going to just put this in market. I'm going to say okay. Boom. So we got the USDT. Now let's grab the next smart contract. It's going to be the N2DR. Let's deploy the N2DR token smart contract. Deploy it right here. Boom. Get notification. Confirm. Beautiful. I got the N2DR token smart contract deployed. Awesome. So now what I'm going to do, grab the next one. It's going to be the reserves, obviously. Deploy the reserves. Confirm. Boom. We got the reserves. Okay. And we are going to deploy the N2USD. Obviously, this is the stable coin. And I am going to deploy. Beautiful. Deployed. Boom. Done. Done. Deployed. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to deploy governance. Okay, so let's go ahead and deploy the governance, and then we can start interacting with all the contracts. Okay, now that we have all the contracts deployed, I have to provide the N2USD smart contract address. I'm going to go ahead and paste this in, and the N2DR. Remember, now we are going to be working with the N2DR. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to say okay. Now I have effectively deployed the governance smart contract. Done, and we have all the contracts that we need to have. All right, so now the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to be minting that 200,000 USDT collateral, right? So let me go ahead and do this. 200, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and mint. We're going to be minting 200,000 USDT, and I wish they were real. Okay, so we have the USDT. Now it's very important that I provide approval to the reserves to move that collateral. So what I'm going to do, I am going to grab the N2USD reserves. Remember, I have to deposit onto the vault that collateral. So the USDT, I have to approve that. So then the reserves can move those tokens. I'm just going to grab this exact amount, right? And we're just going to approve that to the spender. Let's say, okay, now it's going to ask me, hey, max, next, approve. Okay, now we are providing that approval to the reserves. We should be good now. Boom, we're good. And okay, so now we're done here. Now I am going to be minting the N2USD supply, and this will be 1 billion tokens. Remember, that is the total supply of the N2USD token. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 billion tokens. Let me grab this wave value, and we are going to mint that amount here. And we are just going to say confirm. Okay, awesome. Now I am going to do the following here. I have to approve both the reserve smart contract and the governance smart contract to move or deal with this N2USD token. I have to approve the reserves to move those tokens, so as the spender of those tokens, okay? So let me do this real quick. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to say spender. I'm going to say the reserve. I'm going to grab this, copy, paste, transact. And now it's asking if I want to approve that. I'm going to say maximum, next, and approve. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, so we are providing approval to the reserves to move those tokens. So let's complete the reserves so then we can focus on the governance now. Okay, done with the reserve, at least the approvals. Now we can start transferring tokens. So the first thing I'm going to do on the reserves, I'm going to add my 2 collateral smart contract addresses. The first one is the USDT. Let's go ahead and do it. Confirmed. And now we're going to grab the second collateral, which is the N2USD. Boom. And now we finalize this with collateral B. There you go. Confirmed. Beautiful. So we got both. Now we should be able to deposit those collaterals. So the first pool ID is 0, which is the USDT pool. I'm going to deposit 200,000. Okay. So let me convert that away. I'll grab this value and we're going to go ahead and pass it here. Let's say transact, and sure enough, confirm, and we have effectively moved 200,000 USDT onto the reserves. Awesome. Now let's drop. This is the N2USD token now, number 1, and we are going to be providing 10 million N2USDs. It's going to be $800,000 in collateral. Okay, so I'm going to grab this 10 million N2USDs. We should be good, and we can check once this is completed. We'll check the balances to make sure that the reserves are full. Okay, cool. Let's go to the reserve vault, right? And we're going to say 0. We should see 200,000. Beautiful. So that's the USDT collateral on the vault. And let's see the N2USD. Beautiful. We got 10 million N2USD tokens. Okay, so the reserves are good to go. Now we are done with the reserves. Now what I got to do, I am going to be minting the N2USD, the stablecoin, right? Because we need to mint that amount. Okay, so I'm going to say 1 million tokens. Say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got 1 million here, and we're going to mint that amount. The only difference here is that I don't have to deposit this onto the governance, okay? Because we're not going to be modifying anything on the N2USD stablecoin, okay? So we have minted that amount. Beautiful. Now what I got to do, I am going to start working with the governance, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do, I am going to be adding the 2 collaterals that we are using. The first one, USDT. There you go. Confirm. And the second collateral is going to be the N2USD token. Okay, and this is the N2USD token. Okay, awesome. Now that I did that, now I got to provide the reserve smart contract address, okay, to the governance. It's going to be this, copy. And we're just going to grab this, paste it here, set confirm, and we got the reserves smart contract also added onto the governance. Boom, done. Awesome. Now what I got to do, I am going to be providing control to the governance smart contract to work with the N2USD, okay? So what I want to do, if you saw, I copied the governance smart contract address, and then I'm going to head into the N2USD contract, and I'm going to provide the role, right? I'm going to grant that role to this account, and the role will be the manager role. That will allow this smart contract to burn or mint tokens, okay? And we are providing that role, access control, and we're going to go ahead and configure. Beautiful, done. Now we should be good to work with the governance, okay? Now what I got to do, remember in the last video, we were fetching the collateral price, the price of Ethereum. Now we are doing something different. We have to provide the market cap of the N2USD token so then we can determine the token price, okay? So what I'm going to do, I am going to be providing the market cap of 80 million. That will give us that amount. We should have the price per token set to a cents or 0.08. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Oh, by the way, this is not going to be in Wei value. This is just going to be normal integer. It's going to be 80 million. And then once we do this math, it should be converting that onto Wei. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set the market cap to 80 million. And you see that I'm not using Wei. I'm just using normal integer. I'm going to be transacting, and that should do the math. Okay. And now I'm going to be providing also the N2USD supply, which is 1 million tokens. So in this case, the total supply is going to be 1 million tokens. And this has to be in Wei. Okay. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Copy. I'm going to go ahead and paste. And I'm going to transact. I'm going to say confirm. Again, this is not mandatory. We should have provided this automatically. Okay. But that works. And before we can validate a peg, the moment we hit validate, it's going to either burn or it's going to mint the excess tokens if it needs to. However, we cannot do this before we have to add some N2DR tokens onto the governance. So in case it needs to burn, it has tokens available, right? I am going to be transferring from my wallet, because I am holding that supply, from my wallet onto the governance. So I'm going to copy my address, okay? As a matter of fact, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to add the N2DR so that you can see it there. So I'm going to import the token. I'm going to add the token smart contract, N2DR. You can see that I already have 990 million tokens because we deposit 10 million of those tokens onto the reserves. So what I can provide, I'm going to go and provide 500,000 tokens. I'm going to have like almost half of the supply. In this case, 500 million tokens. Okay, I'm going to copy this value. And we are going to, as a matter of fact, I don't need to convert that. All I need to do is on my wallet, I'm going to grab the N2DR. I'm going to send the amount to the smart contract. This is the smart contract, and we're going to be passing 500 million. There we go. 500 million tokens, half of the supply. And we are sending this now. Okay. Now the governance smart contract has 500 million tokens on, deposit onto the governance. Okay, so let's now do the magic. Let's go ahead down here and we're going to hit validate peg. There we go. Boom. Let's wait. Now let's take a look at what we have here. Let's see the unstable collateral amount. And sure enough, it's able to read that we have 10 million N2DR tokens. Okay. What's the price? Look at this. Let's grab this value. Let's see what the price of the unstable collateral is. Let me grab this value. When I copy, we're going to head to the converter. I'm going to paste this Wei value here. Look at that. 0.08. Awesome. 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 So our math is 100% good. Beautiful. Okay. Now let's see the stable collateral price. We know is $1, and the amount that I have under reserves is 200,000 tokens or 200 USDT. Okay, we know that we have validated the peg one time, and we should still see the supply to be 1 billion tokens. Why? Because the price is stable. It's 0.08. That's the amount, that we provided 10 million of those tokens onto the reserves. There's no need to modify the supply. Okay, now let's do the following. Let's change and let's take a look at the stablecoin supply. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the market cap to 60 million to 60. So then the price of the token drops to 6 cents, and we'll see what will happen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead into the market cap and let's change this to be 60 million. We're going to transact. We're going to confirm. Okay, we set now the token price, the market cap to 60 million. Let's see the unstable collateral. We can effectively see that the price of the token went down to 6 cents. This is our way to fake a price change. Okay. Now I have to rebalance the peg once again and see what will happen. Let's see. I'm going to confirm. Boom. Okay. Let's see what we got. And let's go ahead and put this right here. Let me search for my smart contract address. N2USD rewards. And what happened? What happened? There we go. There you go. 3,333,000 with 33 from the governance smart contract to the burn address. So we have effectively burned 3,333 N2USD tokens. So then we could bring back the price 2.08. Now that we have the price 2.08, now we have effectively balanced the algorithmic stablecoin, or we peg the algorithmic stablecoin. And that's it.